Hi everyone, it's Natalie again, and today I am answering a question that I received from someone after I posted the last video. And the reason I'm answering it in this way is because I wrote an answer to the person, but I also wanted to do a little bit more explaining or just talk about it, because sometimes just writing you miss some of the nuance of speaking. So the question, I think, is a very important question. And the reason I think it's important is because it's a question I had, and it's a question that many people have who are, quote unquote, searching for enlightenment. Um, and the question is, so I'm going to read the question, and sometimes I'll be reading part of my answer, but I'll also be explaining more about what I mean. So the question in its entirety is this. After watching your video on YouTube, I've wondered, how did you do it? And I mean, how did you awaken? Or even better, if you had to do it again, what would you do in your daily life to make the shift happen? Just being or being present is always an answer that sounds true, but it doesn't really add up to much. I still ask, but how do I do that anyway? So I want to thank the person that submitted the question, and here's what my experience has been about this. Okay, first of all, how did I do it? Well, I didn't do it. So here's what I wrote. I didn't do it. Your question is misleading you. It's a misleading question. A better question might be, what was it that did it? What or who was it that woke up? And the reason I say it's a better question is because it points you back to the source inside. In other words, I could not have woken up because I, as a separate self, don't exist. And so to ask the question, how did I wake up? It's totally misleading the person who's asking it. There's no I to wake up. A better question is, who or what was it that woke up? So all that happened was that I realized I was not real. I didn't exist. And I put the word I in quotes in my answer because although it sounds like I'm referring to me, a person called Natalie, the I that is being referred to is an illusion. And that's what I understood in that moment. That's what was understood in the moment the shift happened, that oh my God, there I don't this thing that's called Natalie, it doesn't exist. I thought it was me. I thought I was self-directed. I thought I was in control. And what I realized was that's not true. Okay? With the realization came the understanding that I never existed and that the only one doing it, in other words, waking up, was the one that does everything. And what name could you give that? Some people say God, some people say the absolute, some people say the source. But what I realized in the moment is that if there's no I, what is it that is here? And what is it that is here is what is everywhere. What is being experienced everywhere is simply the absolute. It's what does everything. So further, okay, I did not awaken. And this will not make sense from the point of view of one who believes that he or she is a separate being. It's a paradox. Before the shift happened for me, I would have been like, I don't understand what you're talking about. Of course I woke up. Afterward, I'm like, of course. It totally makes sense. Nothing to do about that, okay? And here's what's even more important. This is where people get stuck, because many people believe that enlightenment as a state of being is somehow better than the state of being non-enlightened. They're not, okay? The state or belief that one is separate is exactly the same in value. In other words, exactly the same, not better or worse, than the state of being aware of oneness, the state of the understanding that it's all just the one. What is it that believes it's separate? This is why I say that. This is why I say the states are equal. What is it that believes it is separate? The absolute, experiencing itself as a separate being. Okay, well then what is it that would wake up? The absolute. experiencing itself as someone who woke up. But underneath all of those illusions, the one who is still asleep, the one who woke up, is the absolute. It is all just the absolute. And I'm just using the word absolute because it's an easy term to refer to the oneness that we all are, the void, the some people call it God, the source, whatever. And this source is without limit, it's without time, it's unending. In scripture it says, God is eternal, he's omniscient, he's omnipresent. In the Vedas, in the holy scriptures, in all cultures, that is what God, or the absolute, is referred to as the thing without beginning or end, the thing that is constantly always there. And if that's true, then nothing is not that. That is everything. That is every bad feeling, every good feeling, every emotion, every thought, the table in front of me, this computer, my face, my hair. It is all just the one manifesting as an image or a form that looks like something separate. It's like sandcastles. I build a sandcastle, and that castle is not a separate thing from the sand. It just looks like it is. But what is it made of? It is sand and nothing more. That's a bit like what it is. So, if I had to do it again, what would I do in my daily life to make the shift happen? Well, I think you can see by now that the answer to that is there's nothing that I could have or would have done to make the shift happen. It's just what happened. It woke up. And many teachers say, just be present. Or if you're just present, be present is a way to get there. What many people don't realize by that is that it's not possible to not be present. You're present. Where else would you be? You're present to whatever state has shown up. So, I'm sorry, let me get to my thing. So if you, the one we call you, is daydreaming, what is that? It's merely the absolute being present to daydreaming in the form of the one called you. Okay? If you, on the other hand, are completely calm, sitting in meditation, no thoughts are bothering you, what is that? Is that you? No, it's merely the absolute being present to the state of being to that state of being in the one called you. If you're angry, if you're upset, if you're crying, if you don't like what's happening, if you're resisting life, if you're accepting life, it's not you. It is the one, the absolute, experiencing itself through the form called you in that state, having those emotions, thinking those thoughts. Nothing but the one. You are not the doer. And if there was any pointer that I could use, it would be experience your life, if you can, if that shows up. See what it's like to experience life from that point of view. I'm not the doer. What is happening right now is simply what the absolute is doing in my name. And see if you can find the illusion of yourself, of this thought that you are in any way separate from what is happening around you. This doesn't mean you won't have separate feeling experiences. I still carry around the idea of Natalie, and I know underneath it all, without a doubt, that is just not even true. I can't even buy into that, the idea that Natalie exists as anything real. It's just a form. So thanks for tuning into my video, and hopefully I'll be hearing from you. Talk to you soon.